Hi everyone, Fox is here. I'm coming to you from the couch, which means that I will be talking about theater. This is going to be a review of specific play, more so the production of Butcher by Nicolas Billon. This is the production by Why Not Theater as staged by Mirvish. I watched this play about 2 days ago and it blew my mind. I need to talk about this play to someone. That's why I'm here on the couch talking. Let's get started. Okay, here are the things that you need to know about this play. This is a thriller, 90 minutes production, and there is no intermission. The reason for that being because the play kind of builds up the momentum and you don't want it to have a break in between two acts, so this is a one-act play. I would call it even a chamber play because all of the events take part in one specific room, and that is the office of a police investigator at a police station on December 25th. So basically Christmas Day. And it's set in Toronto as well. I personally didn't know anything about this play until I watched the morning show on Global. I tend to watch morning show every single day. Sometimes they bring people like cast members or playwrights or just simple writers. And this was the case when they brought a couple of cast members of this production into the studio for a very quick chat. Nothing was really revealed about the play, for which I'm very grateful, because this play is a very high suspense and thriller play with so many twists and turns that it's very difficult to review it without actually spoiling anything. But there was one fact that immediately caught my attention, and that was the fact that the play has an artificially constructed Eastern European language. I mean, what? Seriously, when I heard that the author incorporated the whole language, we're not just talking about an imaginary country in somewhere in Eastern Europe, we're talking about the whole language and passages of the play written in, like dialects written in that language. I know that two linguists, two professors from U of T, University of Toronto, were helping with developing this language, but still I was mind blown by the idea of actually going to see a play and having some dialogues in the language that does not exist. And obviously, as a linguist myself, this is my educational background, I'm a linguist, not practicing linguist the way I like to describe it, but this was definitely something that really attracted me to the play. The title Butcher kind of seemed gave the impression that the play is going to be very gory and probably not about something that I would enjoy watching on stage. And partially that is true because there is violence and there is very strong language on stage. However, and I would say the ending is so impactful that it's really hard to watch. But at the same time, the play had a lot of funny moments, especially at the very beginning, and it's very well written, which is such a joy to watch on stage. It was so well done. After watching this play, I went immediately and purchased my own copy of this play, so here is the copy of the play. I'm super excited by the fact that there are passages in that imaginary Lithuanian language here. Super excited about it. There's obviously passages in English as well, so there's kind of like a translation incorporated in the text, and I cannot wait to read this play. I'm going to probably read and review it on my blog, so mostly I'll be talking right now about the production that I saw on stage. The production that I saw was directed by Wayne and Gisha, and it was so well done in terms of the setting and especially the lights, because during the play there are certain moments in which action happens and violence happens, and those moments were done in slow motion with flickering lights, which was absolutely terrific. First of all, it was very impactful. It was really engaging to watch. All the props were just on point. I really enjoyed the set decor, especially since it's kind of the day of Christmas, and the police station was just done so well. I really enjoyed it. This is a story about how an old man wearing a weird military uniform and a Santa hat is dropped at a police station. The man has a butcher's hook around his neck, and on one end of this hook is a business card of a lawyer. So we have the police investigator, we have the old man who does not speak English, we have the lawyer, and we have the translator who's brought in to translate what is going on. This is all I can tell you about this play, because otherwise it just will be spoiler after a spoiler. Nothing is what it seems in this play, and this is one of those quite, magical moments when you watch the play and you go like, oh, so that is, oh, and that moment is just so magical. I absolutely adored it. The thing that I want to say about the language itself, I think it was done so well. It was so well constructed. And obviously this language does not exist, but since it's supposedly an Eastern European, so Slavic language, it has a lot of words and sentence structures that mimic other Eastern European or Slavic languages. That's why, since I am the native speaker of one of the Slavic languages, you can probably guess which one, I was absolutely thrilled by the fact that while listening to people speak this non-existent language, I was able to pick up the meaning behind the words. And that was absolutely fabulous. I was just like sitting there, and half of my brain was occupied by the fact what was happening on stage and kind of being engrossed in the play. And the other half of my brain was analyzing the language structures and the words and thinking about all of those theory that I studied back at the university, and I was thinking, oh my god, everything makes perfect sense. These words do not exist, this language does not exist, but everything they say and the way they say it, it makes sense. And this is the beauty of the language, obviously we have non-verbal communication, we have gestures, we have acting, we have mimics, we have actors on stage that obviously portray emotion, and most of the emotions or all of the emotions are universal, and the way we express them is also universal. So understanding what's happening on stage even without knowing the language is very easy. But for me, when I was listening to those words, I was just super excited because it made all sense, so yeah, I was just a happy little ball of squeaking and squeaking, and my friend was very amused by my excitement over this linguistic part of the play. One of the examples that I can give you is the word that stuck with me. This is a swear word that they used, and that word is very similar. Basically it has a kind of like a similar stem, almost the same stem of the word as the same words. I know that this word exists in Ukrainian, Polish, and Russian. I'm not sure if Polish is the exact same pronunciation, but in this language it was kurvata, and kurva, I think in Polish it's the same. It's a very bad sweary word that describes like a slut or a bitch. And that was just, I was just sitting there and go like, oh my god. And then there was another moment which I'm not going to mention because it's a spoiler, but I also heard that word. I was like, yep, I knew it. That was terrific. More so, I stayed after the show for a bit of like Q&As with one of the actors, and that was with Tony Napo, who plays the detective in the story. I kind of felt very bad for him because first of all he was alone on stage, and secondly some people in the audience were asking him very philosophical and existential questions, which is absolutely fair, because when you finish watching this play you kind of go like, oh, so what is this? Where is the limit? Where is the end of this violence? And obviously this play is not only about a specific conflict, but it's also about violence in general, especially nowadays when we watch the news and there is so much bad stuff happening in local communities, in the world, in the countries, and you watch that and you kind of become immunized to that violence, and you're no longer, you know, susceptible to the horrors that you see on screen, and that is bad on its own. So the question that rises after watching this play is that where is the limit? When does this all end? And I think it's a very important question. It was just a bit unfair to ask that of the actor who just spent an hour and a half playing a very tough role. Nevertheless, I enjoyed Q&As. I think it was a very good sign of a very good play that, first of all, a lot of people stayed after the show, and secondly, a lot of questions were not about, oh, what is your favorite part to play? Oh, what is your least favorite part to play? Oh, was it hard for you to do this or that? Which is usually what people ask actors on stage. But this was a very, you know, deep and profound conversation between the audience and the actor on stage, which is lovely. I think this play is very thought-provoking, even though on the surface it just seems to be a play about violence, but it's also about history, about culture, and it's also about genocide and about power, anger, and revenge. And I really enjoyed this play. I'm not a violent person by any means, and I do not enjoy casual violence. I do not enjoy watching media, I mean any type of media like TV shows and movies with just casual violence. But this play was very powerful, and the message that it has is really, really thought-provoking. I immensely enjoyed this play. I believe it's still on stage at Mirvish till the end of the following week. I might be wrong, but I'll try to provide all the information down below in the box. I believe this play should be on stage till 10th or 12th of April. If you are okay with watching violence on stage, and if you're not afraid of going and seeing something like this, I do encourage you to go and see it, because it is very masterfully done. There are a lot of, it's not just, you know, philosophical play. It's not. It's a very hands-on, violent, action-packed, and very thought-provoking by the end of it. So it's like a whole bundle in one. Plus, there are some very good jokes at the very beginning. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review. I know that I didn't say much in terms of the plot, but I really cannot, as it will be a spoiler. But what you need to know is that this play has no intermission. It is 90 minutes long. It's very suspenseful, very intense, swearing and violence on stage, but it's also very, very interesting, very thrilling. So yeah, please do watch it. I'll provide all the links down below. I'm going to read the script itself and probably will review the script, because I want to delve into the linguistics part, and I will do that on my blog. Once I've done that, I'll post the link down below as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!